You are now listening to the Drunken Monks podcast.
Good evening, folks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first official episode of the Drunken Monks podcast. Dun-da-da! My name is Marlo Brown. That's my partner, Denise and we are here to try to educate and entertain at the same time. That's not arrogant, right? It's a little arrogant.
Well, let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. Hopefully that everybody will take a little bit of joy and enjoyment from this. And hopefully that we can do something with it, huh? So, first episode, first shot in. And what do we have on the docket for this evening? What are we talking about? First and foremost, no, actually, we can't be called Drunken Monks without... So do you have a drink, my dear? It's empty. Or
it's not empty.
It's not empty? No, okay. The But it is blending well with the background.
My invisible drink.
What are you drinking, sweetheart? What are you drinking?
I'm drinking bubbles. A nice prosecco tonight.
Well, I am too, but in a different fashion. It is basically just a rum and coke in the most ghetto cup you could find. And I have to kind of take it out the light so that people can see. See? Kind of match my Ninja Turtle shirt. It's not Ninja Turtle. But yeah, dude. So what are we talking about this evening, man?
I think we should talk about the pre-elections that were held last weekend.
We are in week 6 of 2021, and Curacao is about to have a couple of elections, or an election. Had pre-election.
A parliamentary election.
Parliamentary election. I don't even know where to start with that, man. I don't even know where to start with that. I will be honest. I have at best a passing knowledge, and I'm trying to be humble about it, but I have a passing knowledge of voting procedures, election procedures, and it is a knowledge that was born out of the Netherlands and Tills, and it still going strong today on Curacao, because most of the rules that when they turned from Antilles to country, they still take a little bit of precedence and whatnot. So those rules, I think, still apply. And I know we just had Voorverkiezingen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Correct me at any point if I'm wrong, please. But we just...
Well, I'm also not the master PhD. I also have passing knowledge, so we're gonna just be two people talking and drinking and see, if a little sense can be born out of the nonsense.
Okay. Well, then let's start with the basics, right? For those that don't live on Curacao, even though that we're going to be pushing it out to people here, but for those that don't live here, 150,000 people about, right?
160, I would say.
160, all right. 160,000 people. You have how many seats in Parliament?
21.
21. Okay, so a majority is 11, if I'm not mistaken.
The majority is 11. That's a very, very slim majority.
It's a very, very slim majority.
Like for a stable coalition, you would want like 12 or more.
Yeah. But the minimum to run a place is 11, and nobody gets 11 by themselves. So 9 out of 10, you have to make a coalition of somebody. Ruling parties are now who?
Now in the coalition is now PAR, who has given the prime minister, provided the prime minister. Okay. We have MAN, which is the second big party. And that's it. It used to be PAR, MAN, and PIN. But then our good friend Renox Kalmas decided to break the coalition. He wanted to support the coalition. Well, he jumped seats, basically. He had a seat in Parliament for PIN, the party PIN, and then Susie Reumer was the minister. She was Minister of Health, Environment, and nature, but he had issues with her. It was not really clear. He just left, and it took him forever to come up with an explanation why he broke with the party. I didn't find his explanation too convincing. He was like, yeah, Susie, which was the minister, Susie Camilla Reumer, she was ruling everything, wasn't listening to me, blah, blah, blah. And he was fed up in year 3 or whatever. And then he stole the seat, and he wanted to support the coalition, but the coalition was still talking with Minister Susie Reumer, and they asked her to stay on for a couple of more days to have a great transfer of business. And then Kalmas got upset, and then he said, well, I'm not supporting you. And then he went independent. So Parman still have the majority, but at this moment, because of people wanting to leave Parliament on the side of PAR, a seat was vacated, and it had to be filled with the next on the list. But now the coalition doesn't want to cooperate to swear in the next person on the list. So now our parliament is made up of 10 seats of the coalition and 10 seats of the opposition, which is not possible actually. But we have a parliament which is, I don't even know what to call this. I don't know what to call this. Okay. It's 10-10 now. It's 10-10.
I have my hand up.
Mm-hmm.
I have my hand up because I feel for our listeners as well. God damn. That was convoluted and very much asinine it sounded, man. And not like how you tell it, but just the fact that this story exists. Is it safe to say that politics on Curacao does not go flop?
Not on Curacao. I want to say in the on the Dutch Antillean Islands, it doesn't go smooth. I mean, if we're gonna look at St. Martin, Aruba, Medios, let's not even start to talk about Statia. So, I mean,
you see what this is, right? You see what this is?
I have no clue what that means. Yeah, no, but seriously, the Dutch just said a F y'all and actually came with they play a coup d'etat. How you call it? I find it was a coup on Statia.
What, like a coup d'etat?
Yeah.
I mean, we could argue about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know what to think about Statia. And for those that don't know me, I am Statia man. I'm from there and whatnot. But I don't know what to like. I don't know what to tell you about home. I honestly do not know what to tell you about home. There's always a devil's advocate argument to be made about having to go in and deal with it. And by the way, for those that don't understand, Statia's autonomy, whatever little it had, was kind of, and the technical term is temporarily, but its autonomy was taken away when its duly elected leaders were basically pushed to the side, and almost in a Rome-like manner, a dictator, not in the truest history of the word, not what you think now, but a dictator or two dictators were like basically placed where they supersede or they replace the island council that is there right now, for those that don't know. That being said, the reason why this took place was because that, again, technically speaking, and the words that were being brought forward was that the civil service apparatus, in particular with management of the finances and one, so was in shambles. Before built, if I'm not mistaken, like many years back to back, the year budget was a year late. You understand what I mean? Yeah. And I say this because I was very close to certain years to like as well that we were trying to get certain things done. That being said, I can understand on paper why it needed to be done, but there's always an agenda. There's always a something in the background, and you never quite trust the person who is scraping you to have your best in mind. So, for example, in Myanmar, there's a coup that's going on right now. Do you really trust the military to say, "Oh, once we're done, we're going to give it back"? And that's what's going on in basically Station Tilak as well. That the Dutch have basically come in and took over this the apparatus of governance and whatnot for the most part, and you don't see them being able to give back those toys like anytime soon. It's a long, complicated story. It is something that does irk me, at least on the look of it, because what the hell is the point of having an election if this is going to happen? Like, anyway, if you're going to install, then install. But then don't tell me that we have an election. We just had one. Literally, we just had one, if I'm not mistaken, in, I want to say January. Is that in December or January? It was a little bit kind of druk then, so I didn't quite pay attention. But we had one very shortly, and no bullshit. You have representatives that were duly elected, that were chosen, whether you like it, you don't like it, you like the person, you don't like the person, but these people have ambages, and it feels as if they are more the hall monitors than the teachers of the school. If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it, and that's a whole other episode about the relationship between the islands and Nederland and one and so. And
that is like a whole series, you know.
Yeah, but I genuinely was just trying to talk about what's going on here and basically with us, because I won't tell you no lie, because we're both on the island of Curacao right now, and this is where I've decided to make home. This is where I decided to get a little bit interested into like a what and so. But the first thing that struck me, because this is not going to be the first election that I am voting in here. The first one was 4 years ago. And by the way, a kudos to the current government, at least for that. Even though shenaniganry has happened, but there's no breaking of the coalition, and ship jumping did happen, but not to the point of, you know what, the whole thing fall down and we got to keep snap elections or whatever. Okay, fine. So that's one. Two, good, bad, or ugly, you have to give it to this government as well, that in COVID times, things could have been worse. I'm not saying things are great. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that at all. But it could have been worse. And in it being worse, you know, like, people are still able to go out on the street to this day. Trakipang, so that's basically street food for y'all that don't know. They can buy things, they can go out, they can do things. We're not traveling. That's the one thing that we're not doing, but that's more of your health risk than you have the money. There's still a certain amount of prosperity here that is to be held and obtained. And after a year, because we're bumping up on a year of all of this now, after a year of all the measures, all the nonsense, no tourism, everything that was pending coming up fast and going ugly. So the things with the refinery, all that shit.
Give Easy a statue. That's what you were saying.
I think Easy Blut deserves a little bit of some kind of folk hero status or props when it comes to this place. I think based off of the back of his expertise alone, along with the team that he might have built around him, and the fact that his personality is as doordrammend, you know, like he goes through no matter what. And it's either you listen or you don't. You either deal with it or you don't. Like, he felt like the annoyed dad a lot of weeks. How many times do I gotta tell you?
Yeah.
You know, and there are people that kind of disagree with that. There are a lot of people here, in fact, that kind of disagree with that. But I generally think that Izzy deserves at least a thank you and a handshake and maybe a blowjob from the prettiest girl on the island or some shit, if that's his flavor, of course. But I'm saying that, yeah, the man did good, and the man did good under pressure. The man did good for all of us.
Well, I think you have a very rooskleurig build of,
not saying
like, you're
you're making a
speaking
mistake.
from a position of privilege, Marlo.
How do you mean?
You're saying there's still prosperity to be gotten.
Hmm.
Yeah, for a certain group. But if we can believe the Dutch media, well, we shouldn't. Reports are that 50,000 people are on voedselpakket. It's not 50,000 people, but a lot of people are dependent now on voedselpakketten to be able to eat. In the past, we didn't really have that.
Right.
And even if you fell on hard times in the past, usually family or friends would, support you. There was a social network that you could kind of count on. It's becoming less and less with the years, but now you see that even your social network is struggling. Dr. Izzy, yeah, it is. It's also quite a debate to see. People have their thoughts on his performance, because his performance or his actions are purely health related.
Right.
The economy has taken a very big hit. It's still getting beat up left, right, and center. So if you're gonna talk to, let's say, the eerste de beste horeca ondernemer, so anybody who's running a bar, a restaurant, like a hotel, tourist accommodation, they will tell you probably that Issy sucks, that the measures were too strict, and that it's a little bit overdreven what we're doing. Yeah, a life versus money, but then again, if you don't have money, can you then live or survive? So it's a very, very delicate balance, and it's very difficult, I think, to say, yeah, he did an awesome job or not. So
Okay, but then I would put this in front of you and in front of anybody that, and it's not one point; it is several, in fact. COVID, beyond a shadow of a doubt, was a litmus test. COVID showed you where the cracks are. COVID showed you what the hell was going on with your country in a heartbeat. So if your health infrastructure was bad, COVID exposed that. If your economy was bad or badly planned out or not, or didn't have good fail safes, COVID exposed that. COVID exposed bad leaders. COVID is like exposed. COVID was the acid test across the fucking board. You understand? And for me, I can praise Izzy while also being mad at him for his measures. The reason being is this. I would like, for me, it is, if somebody is strong enough in the expertise of a particular thing. So by voorbeeld, you're an architect, I'm a plumber, right? You want to build the most fantastical house in the world with no doors and plenty of windows and way to fail. You know what I mean? But it's art in your sense. But you're not thinking about the practicalities. It is my job as the plumber to work with you to make sure that you understand, hey, listen, a window cannot go there. Why? Because the toilet gotta fucking go there. What the fuck are you doing? You understand what I mean? If I got expertise in my field and I could rein you in for whatever ideas you got or what you want to do, and then we come to a balance, and then is when you have a thing. Izzy might, like, I'm really projecting here, but I think that the strength of his convictions might have made other people a little scared or whatever, or to like try to explain, or because of your lack of expertise, because that's the one thing that this place has, is a lack of expertise. And I'm not blaming here alone. Samantha got the same problem, Stacia got the same problem across the board. There's a lack of expertise. You understand what I mean? And in that lack, I think that that's where you get the measures that it went too far. For example, Izzy would be the first one to say, toca de queda and no drinking at night. So, okay, fine, but then you just forcing people to drink underground. If somebody had the sense to go explain him, like, people are people, and they are going to hold secret parties at home. They are going to do this, and you might put these rules in place. You might think from your end these rules will take hold in that way, but somebody with sense would look at him and like, yo, dude, that don't work. And that's where the anger comes from. Because is he looking at it from one angle, correct? But at the same time, if he's not getting what he needs to get. And this is where that I can give it to him that, again, he was on point when it comes to the health part of it. He was on point when it comes to saving lives. He was on point on tamping down the curve and all of that type of shit. But it wasn't always pretty. I had to stick in the house with my fucking family too. And as much as of a delight as I am, they got sick of me, man. And I got sick of them, and everybody got sick of each other. Like, you can't stay in a house. Like, one social worker to tell Izzy that 4 or more people in a house for 6 to 10 weeks is a bad idea. That's what he needed. You check what I mean? And that wasn't.
But it's not. I disagree with you saying about the lack of expertise. Yes, we are a small island. All of us are very small islands. And yes, maybe we do not have that exact expertise. Well, we do have multiple epidemiologists on Curacao, but we only saw and heard about Izzy.
Right.
Izzy was in constant, or Izzy not, his team was in constant contact with RIVM, which is the Dutch overarching our organization that deals with, in ieder geval, this geval, COVID, with health issues. We had expertise from the WHO, from different organizations. There was constant conversation with, and as this, because don't forget, it's a new pandemic for everybody. So as we go, we learn. So we cannot put it on Izzy and a lack of expertise. There's constant discussion within the kingdom, but also within the region and even in the international community. So it's not that he's basing his ideas just on whatever he wants. If you look at, for example, New Zealand, they were super strict. Meteen lockdown, niemand erin, niemand eruit. So that's one end of the spectrum. And then you had Sweden in het begin with herd immunity. And so we were somewhere in the middle on the spectrum, and more maybe leaning towards New Zealand than towards Sweden. And as time progressed, ideas got adjusted. And it's not like Dr. Izzy Gerstenbloed is the only one deciding. Indeed, he is, you say the health aspect is on point, yeah, because that's his expertise. But there are more people of the Ministry of Economic Development are involved. There were different people involved with all the measures. And I think actually it is the responsibility of the rampen coordinator, the disaster manager, who is also there, is Mr. Fair in Curacao, to coordinate the whole. And I think a lot of emphasis was placed on Izzy and on the health compartment, but it was not so that there was no advice from social workers, that there was no advice from entrepreneurs, economists, fiscalists, noem het maar op. All these people were there and were consulted, but I don't think it came together. I think inderdaad, Izzy is a force to be reckoned with, and he does what he wants. And in that sense, I think he had to be begeleid a little bit more. And I think that overall thing should not, like Izzy should not be the only one deciding. It should have been a multi-disciplinary team, a multi-ministerial team, and you should have had one leader who said, okay, Izzy, what about the health component? Izzy will give his expertise. Okay, Jantje, what about the economic development? Jantje will
that's what I'm saying too with you. Like maybe not, okay, rein in might be the wrong word, but definitely that he's not the be all end all. And there's a little bit of a balancing act that goes with what he was talking about. You know what I mean? Yeah. Look, I have said it before and I'll say it again. I don't envy anybody that had to work in a decision-making capacity for the past year. I don't envy.
Yeah, because any decision you take will be the wrong one.
Exactly.
So it might be good for you, but then it might be bad for your wife. So it's I find, the government had to choose a direction, and they did, and they stuck with that direction. So in that sense, it's successful. But let's say they were like, oh no, herd immunity, let's do it, and then all the ICs would have been filled, the nurses would have been overburdened because they couldn't then you would have another collapse. But now it's difficult to prove that would have happened because you cannot foresee something that did not happen, So I'm like, with the knowledge that we had.
Yeah. I'm just look, this week we had, I think yesterday 0 cases new. I mean, that's
a couple of times we had 0 cases. Yeah.
I don't know if testing is as robust as it needs to be, but I'll take a win wherever I can find it. You know what I mean? And it's like the one thing, and I think that this government finally learned that lesson too, like as well, a little too late. But messaging is as much a part of the thing as telling the story, right? Is as much a part of the thing as anything else, because if you talk not the right way, people don't get it. If you don't talk enough, people don't, if you don't repeat yourself enough, people don't get it. And I think in the end, Pod and everybody got it as to how to bring things across and what to focus on and what to look at. Because for example, like after the uptick right before Christmas, and everybody felt that one. That was rough. That was no kind of Christmas movement whatsoever. That was everybody staying home. That was tourism. You been code orange one time again. Everybody felt that one. But they also said it. It's like, guys, if we don't get this under control, we're gonna go into code like orange. They prepared the crowd for what was coming. If they didn't move, if the crowd didn't move us to the way that they had to, and like I said, I can respect that. I could respect doing a good thing in a bad place. You know what I mean? And I know I'm gonna piss off some people with this opinion, and I honestly don't fucking care. But at the same time, I give credit where basically credit is due, and I don't just thank the men up top either. Every nurse, every doctor, every healthcare worker, every civil servant that went above and beyond the call of duty in the last year, at the very least, give him a goddamn thank you. I say easy because he's the face of a particular moment or whatever, but people like him, people who have done their jobs and went above and beyond the call of duty to actually make sure that my shit still looks normal and I can go down the road and get a Big Mac. Yeah. I'm happy with that. Denise.
Yo.
Look like we got a little bit off track there, sweetheart. I'm still trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I want to know any and everything about the upcoming elections here. So Zoe's in about a month and a half, and I still don't know. I mean, you and I have apped, but I still don't know what the hell is going on. And I look to you as my Sherpa to explain to me what the fuck, because.
Well, let's see how far we get. I mean, with the two of us combined, we should get somewhere. It's quite complicated. There's a lot of info and difficult to find. So let's see where we get. But before we start, did you refill your glass?
I did. I decided to go a little stronger. Whiskey.
I'm still a very decent lady.
When did you turn into a pussy?
Hey,
into a pussy. You.
No.
This drinking women that I've ever met. And
this is glamour.
Glamour.
And class.
Glamour for stop. Glamour for a bohem. Nah, dude. I call both.
I have my rum days. I have my cocktail days. And I have my bubble days. Actually, I'm drinking bubbles because I want to celebrate democracy. This weekend we had pre-elections to determine which new parties are eligible to participate in the voting on March 19th.
Okay.
And I must say we had a record number of new parties who who meld aan, who were there, who you could vote for. So to me, and also a record turnout of people who went to support these parties. So that, to me, that's democracy working. The great amount of new parties to me is indicative of that people are tired of current politics and they want to change. People are like, no, what we have now is not good. We need something else. So lots of people came with parties, and lots of voters turned up to support these parties so that they can have a chance to participate in the elections for parliament. So, I mean, I think we made a step for democracy.
Yeah, but we'll put a pin in that one because I got my own opinions about that, but we'll put a pin in that one. But all right.
But on the other hand, it is also, and that's quite, I don't know if it's concerning, but it's remarkable that for such a small society as ours, that we have so many parties. Like this fragmentatie galore. Like, what's going on? But what is clear to me, even though it's super fragmented, the fragmentation, I think, highlights it even more, is that people are not happy. People are not happy. People don't feel represented. They feel we need something new. So I think that is what's going on at this moment.
Yeah, but I have no. Okay, let's pin number two.
Okay, let's hear it.
No, but I want to get at least of a bit of an introduction as to what the new pop parties are. And let's be honest, we've prepared something, man. We prepared a little something for that. But I will say this, yeah, and it's something that rubs me raw every fucking time when it comes to politics in the region, right?
Mm.
While I am very much open for no one group or party being defined by one thing,
Mm-hmm.
parties have to stand for something. Why am I voting for you? What is the representation that I get in voting for you? So, for example, me, Marlo, as who I am a social liberal, I'm a fiscal conservative, and anywhere in between on any other subject, right?
Mm-hmm.
But those two things kind of lead my North Star. Name me one party that represents that for me, that can say in their mandate that they have that for me. And I'm not going by tradition because luckily I keep my ear to the ground. I listen to people. I listen to the stories. I try to figure out what the history was. I know for myself, I could put the lines together for myself who I want to vote for. But at the same fucking time, and that was my problem now. And I'm hoping for that problem to be fixed in the next month and a half. I'll say this and be done. I cannot find one manifesto. I cannot find one agenda point. I cannot find like a policy van luister, we gaan dit doen en zo, weet je? So this is what we want to do and this is how that we're going to get there.
No, but that is not our politics.
But that's bullshit.
No, but this is not how we do politics. You can call it bullshit, but that's the way it is.
That's bullshit. I'm sorry.
No.
Bullshit. It is absolute bullshit. What the fuck am I voting for?
Listen, the partijprogramma's, so the manifestos, will be, a couple of them will be announced in the coming weeks. Mm-hmm. We never do it. We are last minute people. We doen het nooit van tevoren. They're going to be the same as the last 20 years. And if it's a new party, it's just like some kind of copy of something of an old party. So we're going to have this. So you should not look for manifestos. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody wants to do something with unemployment, with youth, with against crime, healthcare, elderly people, poor people. Most of them want to do something with agriculture, bringing investors to Curacao, improving the roads. I mean, we all know everybody wants that. So no.
Right.
And the points that you're not hearing is because you're not looking at the right sources. We are radio people. You need to listen to radios. I don't know, Mas, Direct, even Telecuracao News you can watch, and people, the party leaders will come and they talk for hours about the nonsense that they want to do. And they come with proposals that I'm like, yeah, is goed met je, is in orde.
Okay, madam, mijn vraag is dus deze. What happens when you got somebody who is outside of the circles of information, especially the radio? I don't play radio on a good day. I play radio maybe once, twice in a day for when I drop and pick up my son for when he's going to school. I don't got nothing else. And that's to catch the news within that 5 minute block of 5-4 zeven, 7 uur, 5 na 7. Zoiets. Weet je, van so somebody who like me who is an outsider who has passport here and trust, I don't got the color, but there's a lot of Dutch people that are like me in this fucking boat. They don't speak the language, they don't partake in radio mas.
And not speaking the language is a show for another time. But okay, let's pin. What do you say? Stick a pin in it?
Yes, we're gonna stick a pin in it, but for whatever you're coming with, fuck you.
No. Well, okay, we'll leave it for another time. We'll leave that for another time.
Fuck you.
No, but I agree.
That's a whole different story again.
Parties need to innovate because parties they cater to the group they already know, via the channels they already know, and that is how they are missing a whole lot. But I must say, you knew this and you got a lot of information because last time with the elections around, I know that you went to all these town hall meetings because that is what we do. We have town hall meetings, but don't forget, we're now te ver weg van the election. Even though it's in a month and a half, right, it's still too far away.
Okay, but so wait. And I will give some game away for free for anybody who wants to become a politician or whatnot, because nobody can tell me about that shit, right? Why is it that we have to wait until 2-3 months ahead to get a message across? If I'm doing my job right, campaigning never stops. It never stops. The minute that the election is done, I'm campaigning for the next one. That's what it is. That's the world that we live in. If you're doing it right, I shouldn't have to get to know you a month out. I have to get to know you a year out, 2 years out. Give me projects that you've done. Give me milestones that you've hit. Give me initiatives that you've started within the party, within grassroots or whatever. And let me see what you stand for. If most of if you're party X and party X has mostly initiatives for older folks and whatnot, so okay, fine. Now I know you're on that social net for them. You're on taking care of them. You're on making sure that the pension is right and it's fair and all of that. I know that that's what you stand for. If most of your stuff is education and kids and school, I know that, okay, you know what? That's where you stand. If most of your stuff is dealing with people being able to pay their taxes or whatever the hell, okay, economics is a big thing of yours. But I shouldn't have to get to know, and I shouldn't have to get to know 25 plus fucking parties 2 months out.
Hey, Marlo,
you know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to get to know everybody over again.
Everybody a chance to make 1 million guilders in 1 year. Everybody should, I mean, come on. But talking about this whole thing that you're saying about that, the people should be out there, show them milestones, show them this, show them that. There is one party who did it very well, and I think they blindsided everybody. In any case, they blindsided me. And it was Un Cambio para Korsou. Un Cambio para Korsou is a very young party, literally because they just started. But also, all of their people are young and inexperienced. It's the party of Rachel Sint Jaco. Let me not Sint Jacoba. Yeah, I forgot his name. It's Rachel because he's Rachel. No, come on,
Rachel. He's Kiko.
But he's doing community work. He's been doing community work for a long time. He's known all over Curacao. Okay. People were saying, I know, these youngsters, they don't know what they're doing. Why are they even starting a party? And in the beginning, I was also like, yeah, okay, it's a nice gimmick, young kids wanting to do something for the country. But in the pre-election, this guy was the fourth biggest party. He got 1,500 votes, and you needed almost 800 votes. You needed 789 votes to be able to qualify to go to the elections.
Right.
He got almost double the amount of votes that you needed. For most people, he came out of nowhere. And that shows you that community work, being visible in the most vulnerable neighborhoods, really works. And I think people actually came out for him because he's doing a very great job.
There's an interesting perspective on that number as well, of that 1,500. How much do you need for a Zetel?
A Sato in this moment, I have no clue.
3,000, right?
How many?
About 3,000, right?
It depends eigenlijk op de outcome of the last election.
The last general election, not vor election. But again,
no, general election, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But again, let's not make a mistake. It is give or take. You could give or take 100, 200, give or take 500 cells. But 3,000 sounds like a good number.
Yeah.
Right? That's about a Zetel, right? The man got half of that. So you got to give him that too, like as well.
Mm-hmm.
PNP got real fucking close as well. PNP got, I think, what, 2.8?
No, PNP got 3. Oh, waar ben ik er nog gezien? PNP got 3,000 something. 3,000.
So that's interesting as fuck.
4 is what they got.
But that's interesting as fuck. Like you got people coming in swinging is what it looked like. You have people who, the one thing that I will agree with you with, whether or not that I agree on the details, is that people are sick of what's going on. You know what I mean? And in them being sick is like, yeah, we want this or that. Whether or not it's a good idea to have so many little parties have one thing or not, that's a whole different story. But the fact that people could come and swing and at the very least take away mandate from powerhouses. You understand? So I honest to God, I feel like they're gonna lose one. I feel like they're gonna lose one, if not two.
Who's like one of the powerhouses is what we're gonna lose according to you?
No, it's more like power. Like they got like what 5 Zetels or 6 the last time.
Par?
Yeah, it was 5 or so. Like I could be wrong, but I mean the booze is. No, but what I'm saying is that instead of being have like 5 or 6, they're gonna be 5-4 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I feel that a lot of votes are gonna be siphoned off because supporters of the old regime or the older regimes are gonna be disillusioned. And again, COVID is the catalyst, is the litmus test.
Par had six Zetels, by the way.
Exactly. So I'm expecting Par to go 5 this time, 5-4, some of this. So they're not gonna be knocked out. Not even.
No, Par will lose, but they won't be.
Not even close. Ruggenaat alone by himself will have the trust of some people because he too was the face of something.
Yeah.
And even stronger. And again, you might love him, you might hate him, but he was a face. He was a character. He was recognizable. He was a symbol. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honest to God, I don't know how good Man is gonna do. I have no clue because I think that their shit has been turned upside down so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they were seen like the bratty little, like the bratty little type of brother or something like that. So I'm not sure what is gonna happen with them and how people are gonna react to this time. And that's another one too, huh? Like that's another weird one too, huh? The system is that if you're in parliament, you don't have to go into vote for kiezing, right?
Yeah.
There's no polling here either.
No, there's polling.
And I'll say this, right? I will say this much, right? Sorry about that. The phone just went off. No, but I will say this much too. There's little to no real good polling here.
Yeah.
And so thusly, if you're in parliament, you're in the dark. Because if you're out of parliament, you go into vote for Keesing, you see what kind of momentum you got. Again, PNP looking real good right now. Your boys that you just kind of mentioned of un the cambio pa
Korsou.
Korsou, a lot of momentum on their part. You don't know if you're in what's going on with your people, and especially
Mm-hmm.
because that it feels like the communication between party and the constituents is also, again, it's very low and localized and like up on moment, weet je?
Yeah.
So 4 years is a long time. 4 years is a long goddamn time. And if you're not doing the work, if you're not helping your constituents come forward, if you're not fulfilling the promises that you've had, which every politician has to fucking break, because you
Mm-hmm.
promise big and then reality hits. I don't know, man. Like all I'm hoping is that the bad guys don't win. And without saying anything here, because we don't want to get killed, because that's a reality.
Oh.
But you're hoping that the bad guys don't win, and there's a certain amount of realism and corruption that you can kind of do this with, and there's some blatant shit that you just kind of want not to be there, and I'm just hoping that the good guys,
Well, it's gonna be interesting because Cam
yeah,
is, of course, Shao is Sumio is one of the parties that you could, well, from a very privileged middle class, um, high-ish educated perspective,
right,
you could argue that Cam is one of the bad guys. It
because of the
is
leader, right?
because of everything. It's a
He,
party with
he
known criminals, people who
I
went to
won't ask
jail.
a
And I'm not
question,
gonna
but there's
say,
one party.
that if you went to jail, you cannot reform and rehabilitate. But you cannot fill your list with criminals.
Yeah. Welcome back. I took my piss. I'm light of bladder. Yeah.
Yay!
Hey, man. Man. I had some time to think. And I won't tell you no lie, man. The one thing above all else that has struck me to live on this island is the fact that there's such a rigid, rigid class divide and class system here. There is you can move, you can change, you can come out of poverty, you can go up, you can do all these things, but it ain't easy. And there's a very complicated way and path and everything else. And it seems like once you're branded here, you're branded. You know what I mean? So that like your conversation about the criminals having the party and Numaropa one, and so I found that interesting because can you have true reform? Do you believe in reform? That type of thing. Do you believe in reform enough to vote for a motherfucker who might have killed a man or whatever the fuck? Do you have that here? I'm not convinced of that. I think
We have that here. We have Gert who is in prison. Well, okay, he got in prison after his term in office, but before he got there, his calf stock already had a bunch of things on it. We got different people who were convicted. We have Anthony Gondet. We have different people who were convicted. And most of these people, helaas, and if you also statistically speaking, before you go to jail, heb je al een paar dingetjes gedaan vaak.
yeah.
So we have a bunch of convicted criminals who saw the light when they were in prison, came out, became a minister, pastor, preacher, apostle, whatever the name they want to claim, and run very, very, very successful churches. So yes, we do forgive you. We forget. We whatever. It's all good.
I'm gonna go get my boots so I can walk through all the dripping sarcasm that you just put down.
No sarcasm, just
No?
real talk.
Real talk. Okay, so it don't sound like you're happy with that type of dynamic. It doesn't sound like
No,
you're
I mean, like everybody deserves a second chance or a third chance, maybe fourth chance, fifth chance. I don't know. Everybody deserves another chance. And if you went to prison, you paid your dues, you paid your debt to society. And when it's time to come out, you come out. But yeah, it is difficult. You can't come out, but sometimes they say you don't lose all of your streken. Let's say it like that. You really have to evaluate and look at the person and did they really reform? And I think seeing how our prison system is not catering to rehabilitation, resocialization, I'm like, what are people doing in prison? They're just, waiting to be released. There's no mental or psychotherapy or whatever, that transformation that you hope that it will happen so that they can be contributing members in a positive way to society. That doesn't happen a lot of the time.
Wait a minute. But that speaks to even a bigger thing in life and in fucking Western society and whatnot, right? No bullshit. Jail used to scare people.
Did it ever scare people here in Curacao?
Used to. Maybe. I don't know about now or whatever, but jail used to scare people in like my grandfather's time. It used to scare people. Being branded a criminal and whatnot, so it was the worst fucking thing on the planet. I don't know if that works in 2021, man. I don't know if like if jail works.
Sometimes it's a badge of honor nowadays, huh? It's just a badge.
But I'm a point. Let me tell you something, right? The drug trade being so central here alone should tell you that jail ain't nothing to nobody. Niggas will go in, do their time, by the time, okay, in about 5 months I'm out. You know what I mean? Out the door, gone. Reformation.
That was exactly my point that I didn't get to make because we got stuck on the criminals point. But with Cam, the reason why I think Cam can be considered one of the bad guys, if you're coming from inderdaad a point of privilege, there is a lot of questionable money in Cam. I don't have an issue with people who went to prison and they came out and they bettered their life. They saw the light. They want to do something for the community, give back, blah, blah, blah. Kudos, all the power to you. And you wish that more people would be inspired to stay on the straight and narrow.
Right.
But with money streams that are, let's say, unclear.
Opaque.
Unclear.
Opaque. I'm using big.
I'm not sure, but the origin of the monies is unclear, and it is obvious that there is a lot of money. You would have to sit and think about what does this mean. If somebody's pumping somebody, an organization, multiple somebodies is pumping a lot in your campaign, in your organization, one might want to stop and think. Like, what started tegenover? Like,
No, no such thing as a free lunch.
No, and I'm not saying that the big parties in the establishment don't have financiers that also want favors or also need stuff done.
Or also are fucking shady as fuck. Let's be honest.
That happens too. But yeah.
Do you know what it is here? Here, listen to me. And it's so weird coming from St. Martin. St. Martin has very much don't give a fuck gangsters. Normally as a gangster, and Lord help me if you don't know this, but again, a little bit of game. But gangsters is normally supposed to lay low. You know what I mean? American Gangster, beautiful movie. Denzel Washington. He did not get attention up until he wore that fucking mink coat. His wife bought him the coat, everything was cool. But he wore that coat and he did the thing and he was at the fight and everybody. And then that brought the cops like, wait a minute, this nigga is wearing a coat and he got the mafia bowing down to him. Who the fuck is him? You understand? So normally as a gangster, if you want to make money, if you want to do and you want continuity, you lay low. So Martin does not have lay low type of niggas. They don't lay low. They are very blatant with their shit. They will, short of telling you exactly what's going on, they're gonna tell you exactly what's going on. They're gonna snitch on themselves. You know what I mean? Here's different though. Here is different. Here I think evolution got to here because of the drug trade. I think because of what was going on in the 80s and in the 90s and with the link to Colombia and the link to Venezuela and Kiko and one and so, and here was the stop. Some bullshit, but we'll get to that. But here was the stop between here and Nederland for like certain type of drugs and whatnot. And so I think people evolved here. And so thusly a lot of dirty money's in like a lot of shit. But nobody speaks about it. Nobody acknowledges the fact. Hush whispers, maybe, in corners, maybe. People know who know, and they talk about it or whatever. But I think that is like dirty money is such a part of life here that to take it out would kill the island at this point. Money laundering is.
I don't know how true that is, but like, yeah, take it out, and I'm not sure if I agree with that statement,
dude.
But the thing that you're saying about the lay low and blah blah blah, yes, that I can agree that probably happens, but you're also seeing a new, to use your words, a new crowd of gangsters who don't care, who flash their money around, and I think some of the newer parties might have more of that last type of gangster in them than the traditional gangsters of old time with all the honor codes and blah blah blah.
But why would they? But listen, but I got a question. I have a genuine question. This was the problem with like Escobar. Escobar was making money to the point where rats were eating it. He was losing more money to rats than he was losing money to the drug trade or whatever. He decided, I want to become president. Why?
Just because he could.
Why would you do that? Why would you fuck up the money? Why would you fuck up what's going on with you?
If you have everything that you can have, like what is the next thing? What is the next like if you make your first million, I imagine, oh my God, like you always like that's your goal, to make a million, to make 2 millions, to make 2 millions, to make 3 millions. But at a certain moment, if you have billions and billions of dollars, what is the next challenge?
Spending it.
As always know. But I mean, for your own self, because you bought all the cars, you have all the women, you have all the fur coats, you have all the houses.
No, listen. Okay, I understand that hindsight is fucking 2020, and you can't know, like you can't know then what is now known, but you don't want that kind of heat, man. Things are going on. Things are really going on.
But don't forget. This is my theory. This is my theory. It is not the Pablo Escobaran who want to become prime minister. It's the Pablo Escobaran that are financing parties. The Pablo Escobaran are still in the shadows.
Actually, that's the Cali cartel, but that's a different story.
Whatever, but you were saying about, you were making the a comparison to Pablo Escobar, and I don't think we're dealing with the Pablo Escobars. We're just dealing with the marionette, with the puppetjes.
Yeah, toch? Yeah,
the puppetjes have done some stuff, but they're not the big boss.
No, sorry.
No, continue.
No, I just find it odd. I find it odd I find it odd across the board. I find it odd across the board. I find it odd that leaders are not held accountable. I find it odd that I agree with you 30% that democracy has taken a step. A lot of turnout, a lot of parties, a lot of whatever. But do people really know what they're voting for? Do people really know what's going on? Do people really know what's going on behind the scenes? You have a little bit of an understanding. I have a little bit of an understanding, and we're not putting ourselves above like anybody else. We're not doing that. But at the same time, is like, do you really know what's going on behind the scenes? Like one of the biggest things that I've had, because again, I've been close to politics. I think you have too, like as well. One of the biggest disconnects is that what people hear as to what the promise is. Like, like I'm gonna build you a new hospital. I'm build you a new racetrack. Wait a minute, right? And then to what reality is and how the sausage is made. Here, right here, is very much opaque. The same way people don't know what's going on here. People only know this part. You know what I mean? I would want at the very least for some education where people get how government works, how things work, how checks and balances work. At the very least, that alone makes shit long. That like it makes it that like, yo, I could promise you a hospital tomorrow, but it has to go through the building committee, NADLON, finance, numero, and now worse because we got TFT and all that shit. It takes a while. You got to go through all these checks and balances to make sure that the money's not being misappropriated. You know what I mean? But I could promise you a hospital tomorrow, but it doesn't work that way. Even in building the hospital, the contractor could tell me, yo, 6 months, we're done. 4 years,
Well,
we're still not done. Nigga, what happened? Yeah, we had, a couple of this, couple of that. That is the sausage being made. That is the somebody trying to fuck me over. Plus, there were shipping delays. Plus, there were this. Plus, there was a miscalculation. Plus, this or that. I don't think that people get that how the sausage is made. And with that not understanding how the sausage is made, people get fucking disillusioned with the whole thing. People say like, yeah, government doesn't work. Yeah, this doesn't work. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. You've never built anything yourself. You've never, like fucking cook for Christmas. I dare you. You know what I mean? Cook for Christmas once, and you understand how long shit takes. How getting 20 dishes on the fucking table takes. If it takes you this long to get 20 dishes on the table, imagine how long it takes you to fucking give a building or to give a department or like a new road or whatever the fuck.
I can agree with you to a certain point. So if a course like that ever, if you say people need to learn, we should send the politicians first. Politicians, because they also don't understand,
Yeah.
But I think it is not only about understanding that you can say, okay, yeah, you don't understand how long it takes to build a house and building a kiko, whatever. But I think most of the time it is gewoon about I, Denise, a Faber, I need something. And so it's not about understanding the Camina di Cruz. So it's not about understanding all the procedures, the bureaucracy, and all that it has to go. But what will it do for? I want something. I'm more interested in something for me, for my family, for my kid, than a freaking hospital or like all these very big abstract things. If you can give me something, I think that is way more interesting than even if I understood the system, So I'm not sure.
No, but that's kind of the point. Like, there is an argument to be made. I find it comes out of colonialist thinking. Lord, I hope I said that word right. but there's an argument to be made that comes out of like need to know basis, right? And need to know in the Zin Fund, a lot of politics here has been done by keeping, for lack of a better word, by keeping the masses dumb. like keeping them fucking dumb, like actively working against them getting brighter. Why? Because if they get brighter, I lose power. You check what I mean? So let them, and especially here. Here has that Doño shit. Here has that Godfather shit. Like I need to go to an elder or to somebody who's above me or whatever to get the ball rolling. Fuck that. You know what I mean? Like here has a certain amount of I don't need to think about it, so I'll leave somebody else do it for me. And I'm not a fan of that. But I would want for education here to be a little bit more stronger and to be a little bit more appreciated. You get the feeling that folks here don't really give a fuck. You get the feeling like, hey yo, I can come with all the books, I can come with all the fucking whatever, right? But will you read it? Will you take some moments to whatever? Fuck it. You and I have problems reading shit, you know what I mean? And we love it. We love to read. So imagine somebody that doesn't like it. You know what I'm saying? I get that feeling here. And up until that shit gets educated to me at least. A little stronger, a little harder, and not educated within a particular circle, but for everybody to understand and to appreciate what democracy looks like, what it could be. Then is when you get a little bit more. Then is when you get holding people accountable. Then is when you get, questioning things, maybe a better journalistic streak. Who knows? I don't know, man. Like this got real dark real quick. This got real dark real quick, and I'm sorry for that, yo. Yeah. No, but long and short though. I think I definitely want to see the best for here. This is not my home. This is not my place. But I would want
It
to
is your home. You live here, man. You got your wife here, you got your kids here, so
now, but it ain't originally, and I don't speak the fucking language. I don't eat yambo. Fuck that. That shit look too slimy.
What?
I don't eat yambo.
I will unfriend you right away.
Go right ahead. I don't give a damn. And I can't dance to Tumba worth a damn. The fucking beat is off.
If you can dance to soca, just dance your soca and tumba, man.
But this is what I'm saying. No, but I'm rooting for the place. I would want to see the place succeed. I would want to see the place go forward. And I think you have not necessarily my worldview, but I think you would want to see the place succeed as well.
Everybody wants to see wherever they live succeed and wherever they're from succeed.
Nah, fuck that. I don't want Nederland to succeed.
But you don't live there, and
I used to. That's the point. I want to have them knock down a couple pegs. I want them to.
Yeah.
Pressure is with Dutchman. Them. Yo. Okay, fine. We got
final point.
We got 5 more minutes, but I want to bring this one up. Yo, I was giddy as a schoolgirl with them riots, man.
Oh Lord. I was just like, look at these
I was giddy as a schoolgirl with them riots, boy.
Spoiled brats is what we call them.
Listen, I was listen, Germans and literature has a term called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude. I had ultimate Schadenfreude with these.
Tell us, what is Schadenfreude?
Schadenfreude is when you listen, like in real nigga terms, is when you happy when a motherfucker fail. it is haterade. It is good. Take that. It is knocking down a peg. Yo, let me tell you something, right? For the amount of subliminal or not even subliminal, overt shit that they do to us in the media, and especially when things go bad down these sides. Had a post up on Facebook, got a lot of response because apparently a lot of people felt it. But Irma hit and the West came down. It was like, yeah, these savages are looting and this and that. One said, no, some of us are looting to do this or that, but a lot of us are looting to save our fucking lives. I have stories. I have friends. I could name friends right the fuck now, and I won't fucking do it because fuck you to the police. But I got people who went into stores who went to feed babies, man, to feed little kids.
But even if it was not to feed babies, I'm thinking these people went through major trauma. This was like literally life and
Right.
death.
But that was the thing. But that was the thing.
You react to trauma differently and to the feelings of insecurities, of the feeling of loss of control, all these things. Maar een freaking avondklok, mensen, wat voor life trauma was there?
You gotta stay in. These niggas went wild.
Entitled
wild.
Biatches.
I apped each and every one of my brothers and sisters over in Nederland, man. Yo, Dre, you straight nigga, we home. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, stay in your house because you only need one Tyrone. I mean, hello. I mean, in Holland, it's not going to be Tyrone. In Holland, it's going to be Junie or
Yo, you want to hear some nonsense? Because, again, I try to keep in contact with all of my people, right? I don't know about you, but I just try to keep in contact with all my folks. And every one of my people in Nederland for this whole year, they all told me the same thing. White people wilding. White people not listening. White people, like, we get measures and nobody ain't listening. You get told to wear a mask in enclosed spaces. Niggas is telling you about their rechten and what could not be put upon them and all whatnot. So I have a boy that works in the Albert Heijn, Hartje, Amsterdam. Yeah, my man tell me plain, yo, white people here be wilding, bro. Gewoon. We can't tell them nothing. They don't want to hear it. We try to work with it. The one on the soil is basically what it is. The place of reason. The place of waarom doe je dat? Waarom gaan we dat zo even aanpakken? Weet ik veel. Them fuckers burn places down. Like the first couple days of that riot, it was nothing but white people. The Moroccans them joined like after a while. You know what I mean? But white people was like front and center with that fucking charge, man. And I had such a like, yo, you can't call us savages no more. You can't do that. I don't want to hear you've lost all your.
Don't worry, you'll be called a savage soon enough.
No, but you've lost your. No, fuck you. Listen, I got it saved on my phone. Fuck you. You have no more privileges with me. You have none. The same way, the same way. You
shouldn't have had any to begin with, maar okay, fine.
Anybody,
now
we all got an arrogant Dutch friend. We all got an arrogant Dutch friend who is going to tell us about how Nederland is great and the islands are bad and whatnot and so. Anytime you come to me with that bullshit, look here. Yeah, maar dat was no. Look here. Nee, maar toch no. Because when I tried to explain you wasn't listening to me. So fuck you. Look here. Toch wel dit, weet je? Ik had schadefreude. Ik had echt schadefreude. I was so... Listen to that. Hear it. Beat my chest. I was happy with it. I was happy to the point. I'm not happy when people act stupid. I'm not happy when innocent people get hurt or whatever, because there were, and let me be clear about this. There were police officers, even though certain police fuck them, but there were police officers, there were healthcare workers, there were a lot of people that were put into harm's way because of those riots.
Yeah, there were businesses lost, businesses who were, on the verge of dying already due to COVID, now are gewoon destroyed. I
am not a fan of it. I actually saw one of the interviews that they had with one of the women that was from, I think it was either Urk or from Eindhoven, I'm not quite sure. But they had an interview with her and she broke down and it broke my heart. It was like, you built up your life, you built up all these things, you make the right choices and this still happens. So I'm not.
But luckily, that lady, they put a GoFundMe campaign for her and she got a lot of money. Maar, I mean, she was just a voorbeeld and there are hundreds, maybe thousands of others like her and who didn't get a GoFundMe campaign. So.
Mm-hmm. No, but it's just but I'm not happy for destruction. Let me be clear, people. I'm not happy for destruction, but I am happy for when hypocrisy shows itself. I am happy for when bullshit cannot be hidden anymore. You cannot, and trust. Dutch people are good at the bullshit. they're real good at the bullshit. They always find a reason to be able to, like to be able to goed spreken door, weet ik veel. Nah. Not now. You can't tell me fuck all now, bro.
Let's just see how soon we're gonna forget. How soon we gonna forget?
I'm petty. You're not. I'm petty. But you were saying something, sweetheart. Sorry about that.
No, nothing. I think the next episode we will continue talking about the elections. We will delve a little further into the new parties and also the existing parties. And, we will see. Maybe we can give our predictions as to what we think will happen. Why are you laughing?
I ain't predicted shit.
I think we should just place a wager.
This world is upside fucking down right now. I ain't predicting shit, but I will play along. Let's say it like that. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Denise Faber. Wait, no, this way. And I myself am Marlo Brown. We are the Drunken Monks. And we hope to see you next week. Thank you.
Who says?
Peace.